I didn't plan to cheat. That's the first thing people say, right? But the truth is, some mistakes don't feel like mistakes when they start. They feel small, harmless, temporary, like asking for a ride home. That night should have ended like any other. It was late, later than I expected. The kind of late where the streets are quiet and your phone battery is dying and all you want is your bed and silence. My husband was out of town for work. I had stayed longer than I should have at a friend's gathering, laughing, pretending I wasn't as tired as I felt, pretending everything in my life was fine. It wasn't. That's the part I didn't say out loud. When it was time to leave, I realized I didn't have a way home. No rides available, no taxis nearby, just that quiet, inconvenient moment where you have to ask someone for help. And he was there. Ryan. Not a stranger, not exactly a friend either, just someone who had been around long enough to feel familiar, someone my husband knew, someone I trusted, at least I thought I did. "I can drop you," he said casually. I hesitated. Not because I didn't trust him, but because something in me paused, a small, almost invisible instinct telling me to think twice. I ignored it. "Yeah," I said, "that would help." The drive started normally, music low, streetlights flickering past the windows, the kind of silence that isn't uncomfortable, just quiet. We talked about small things at first. The night, the people at the gathering, work. Then, slowly, the conversation shifted. It always does. "You seem different lately," he said, glancing at me briefly before looking back at the road. I let out a small laugh. "Different how?" "Quieter," he said, "like something's on your mind." I looked out the window. The truth sat right there in my chest, heavy and waiting. "My marriage isn't what it used to be," I admitted. The words felt strange leaving my mouth, real, permanent. He didn't interrupt. He didn't judge. He just listened. And that was the first line I crossed, because sometimes emotional lines blur long before anything physical happens. We kept talking about distance, about routine, about how easy it is to feel alone even when you're not supposed to be. And the more I spoke, the lighter I felt. Seen. That's the dangerous part. When someone sees you in a way you've been missing. The car slowed as we stopped at a red light. For a moment, everything went still. No sound, no movement, just the soft hum of the engine and the weight of everything we had just said. "I didn't know things were that bad," he said quietly. "They're not bad, just different." But even as I said it, I knew it wasn't true. The silence that followed felt heavier than before. Not empty, full. He turned slightly toward me, and I should have looked away. I didn't. That moment stretched longer than it should have, long enough for me to realize exactly what was happening, long enough for me to stop it, but I didn't. The light turned green. He didn't move right away, and neither did I. "I shouldn't," I started, but the words didn't finish, because some part of me didn't want them to. What happened next wasn't sudden. It was slow, careful, almost hesitant. The kind of moment that feels unreal while you're inside it, like you're watching yourself from the outside, waiting for yourself to step back. But I didn't. And that's what makes it unforgivable. Not what happened, but the fact that I let it happen. The rest of the drive felt different. Quieter, but not the same kind of quiet. He dropped me off in front of my house. No words, no promises, no acknowledgement of what had just changed. Just a look. and then I stepped out of the car. I remember standing there for a moment, staring at my front door, knowing that everything on the other side of it was still the same. But I wasn't. Inside, the house was silent, familiar, safe, and suddenly that safety felt heavier than ever. I went to the bathroom, turned on the light, and looked at myself in the mirror. I kept expecting to see something different, someone different, but I looked exactly the same. That's the thing about crossing a line. There's no visible mark, no sign, just the quiet knowledge that you can't go back to who you were before it. The next morning, my husband called like he always did. "Miss you," he said. I swallowed. "Miss you too." And in that moment, the weight of what I had done settled fully into place, because it wasn't just about a ride home anymore. It was about a choice, a moment where I knew exactly what I was doing and didn't stop. I wish I could say that was the end of it, that I learned my lesson instantly. But the truth is, once a line is crossed, it becomes easier to approach it again. That's what no one tells you. It doesn't end with the first mistake. It starts there. And every day after that becomes a quiet battle between who you were and who you've become. Sometimes I think back to that moment in the car, that red light, that pause, that chance I had to step back, and I wonder how different everything would be if I had just said one word: no. Because the truth is, I only asked for a ride home, but what I brought back with me was something I can never undo.